Welcome to the Billionaire Mindset, your 30-day journey to thinking like a billionaire. Now you can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the entire series for free and get the bonus PDF companion calendar, check the link in the description below. Today is day 8, and we're going to learn the belief systems of billionaires. Enjoy.
When you're saying, I know who I am, and I'm telling you, it's the thread that runs through everything. It's the thing that allows you to stand in your own truth. And one of the things for years that Maya Angelou used to say to me is, baby, you need to know that you alone are enough. You alone are enough.
If you take a look at life, you can have your glass, as they say, half empty or half full. It's how you look at it. Now, I've been homeless twice. When you are down and out, first time was 22 years old, and I had a child, homeless with a kid. You know, he was a couple years old. My God.
Which would be interesting, because most people see you now in this multi-billion-dollar situation. They would never believe that at 22 you were homeless with a kid. I mean, it didn't look like the trajectory was heading here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But when you're down and out, and you're that far down, and you've got a kid, and you're kicked out of your place because rent's due, you don't have the money, and your wife took off with everything.
Took off with everything?
Everything, yeah. Just little kids.
Wow.
Anyways, we were just too young to get married. So you know how to make it. Now, when you're that low, I've had a friend of mine who's a blues singer said, when you get down so low and you look up, all you can see is an ant, right? Well, when you're that low, you can only go up.
True.
So instead of, you have a choice. You could sit around and blame what happened to you on everybody else, which is usually what people do. Or say, hey, that's how things turned out. Now I'm going to turn things around. Another very important thing, when you're down and out, first thing people do is blame it on everybody else but themselves.
So true.
When you start taking responsibility, you have a little different outlook. You also have the responsibility of turning things around. When I started Paul Mitchell, I was homeless once again, totally by accident. And I started the company out of the backseat of my car.
How old were you at that time, 37 or something?
That was 34, 35 at that time.
So you were homeless at 34, 35 again?
Yeah.
I visualized this for myself. When I was selling copiers door to door, I had a very clear vision of what my life was going to be like. And I encourage everyone to do it. Take a snap photo of what success looks like for you. How many employees do you have? How much are you making? Where do you live? Are you sitting at a table with world leaders? Are you standing on a stage in New York City giving a speech? And hold on to that snapshot, and you will subconsciously start to make decisions that get you there. And so my snap photo for myself when I was going door to door to sell copiers was to be self-employed, invent a product that I could sell to lots of people and not just one copier to each person, and create a business for myself that would continue to fund itself if I wasn't present. I wanted money to be generated without me having to be there. I was that specific in my vision.
Is it going to be a business, kind of tourism in orbit, or is it more a kind of plan B if things on Earth do not develop as well?
It's not exactly a plan B. It's more that I think there's two aspects to this. One is that we want to have a future that is inspiring and exciting. And what are the things that you find inspiring and exciting about the future? And I think a future where we are a spacefaring civilization and out there among the stars, I think every kid gets excited about that. You don't even need to teach them. They just get it. It's like instinctive. And so it's very important for us to have reasons to be excited about life. Like when you wake up in the morning, it can't just be about problems. It's okay, I know everyone in this room deals with a lot of tough problems. But, it's got to be more than that. So, I think a future where you can say, hey, even if it's not you, there's going to be people out there we can have a base on the moon. We're going to have a city on Mars, maybe go further, the moons of Jupiter and everything. I think that's a very exciting future.
I am amazed at how few people have a belief system. What do they actually believe in? Yeah, it's okay to offend you guys. 90% of you will do what's expected of you as opposed to what you want to do. And, when I come to an event like this, say, why am I here? Why would I even bother to take an hour of my valuable time? No, it's true. I have to have a purpose. My goal is very simple. If I can convert one of you, there's probably 400, 500 people here. If I can convert one of you to follow your belief and have the guts to follow your belief, I'll think of the hour as well spent. Right? So I always say, what am I trying to do and why? I don't speak because somebody will write nice things about it. I always sort of have a purpose, but I have a belief system. And most people, even successful companies, and I have big beef with Fortune 500 CEOs I can talk about, there's very little leadership there. Don't have an internal compass of what they believe in. It's what do others expect? When I graduated, I went into entrepreneurship. Nobody went into entrepreneurship out of the business school, and people said, why wouldn't you work for Goldman or McKinsey? And I said, why would you? I couldn't fathom why you would want to do that job, right? I still can't, by the way. For those of you going to those places, and I'm sure there's plenty, I'm probably not the right person to talk to you. I frankly don't even care to talk to you. All of you others. I think there's something wrong with anybody who fundamentally wants to go work for one of the consultants or the investment banks today in this they don't understand how the world is going to work in the future. But my point again is, have a belief system, follow that compass. And I'm overstating it a bit, so there may be some hope for those of you going there. But it's only a little bit of an exaggeration. Let me go back to this issue of Fortune 500 CEOs. I've talked to many over the years. If a New York Times writer writes an article, they want to change their strategy, they want to respond. How silly is that some English major who's never had a business job can determine the strategy of a Fortune 500 company? Why? Because they care about what's written, not what their belief system is. Do you know what Elon Musk would say to that writer? Go get a real job. Right? What Jeff Bezos would say, that's leadership, having a belief system, knowing what's driving you to do what you do, not you fitting in to do career enhancement or making it look good to somebody else, whether it's to your friends or to your boss or to shareholders. And frankly, you look at all the companies that are languishing in the valley, the older companies, they generally don't have a belief system. They're generally trying to meet some quarterly target without saying, here's how we will be different, and here's how we'll do it. Apple did languish for 10, 15 years, and then Steve Jobs came in with a point of view and created the most valuable company in the world. He did irrational things. If you go back to January of 2007, January 1, everybody was saying nobody wants a phone without a keyboard. Nobody wants a phone that costs $699. I can go on with the litany. Those were all English majors writing articles. I have this beef against English majors. Not all English majors are bad, but the majority of them at Stanford are undirected and don't have a goal or a purpose. Sorry. And that's not to say among them there isn't 20% that are really good. They just didn't get the right guidance and ended up in the wrong place. I like purposeful education.
You have no idea how you all see things differently. That there's a thinking spectrum. Some people are creative and not reliable. Some people are reliable and not creative. And as you start to give people personality tests like Myers-Briggs or the Big Five or different personality tests, you start to learn how people see things differently. And then when you see them differently, and that screen pops up where rather than just seeing how you see it, you go above that and you're seeing that everybody is seeing things differently, it changes how you see things. Because it starts to make you think, how do I know I'm not the wrong one? In other words, as you go above it and you look down on all those different ways of seeing, you start to think, how do I know I'm not the wrong one? And how do I collectively see? And you see in a color range, it's like seeing in a different color range or going from 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. All of a sudden you see the full spectrum of seeing things. And then you go to the higher level, and we have systems that go through the computers that go to the higher level that say then, how do we weigh all those ways of seeing to make the best decisions? So you don't get so attached to your opinions. I think the greatest tragedy of mankind is people holding on to wrong opinions that could so easily be rectified, and that's doing them harm because they're making wrong decisions. So how do you collectively do that? Well, the answer is by everybody seeing everything and seeing how others see, they begin to gain those perspectives. They also get to get an appreciation for the other way of seeing. It used to be that everybody would drive each other crazy. Your brain works in one way, my brain works in another. Maybe I see big picture, you see detail.
Right.
Maybe I'm creative, maybe you're reliable. We drive each other crazy. When you start to realize that people are actually seeing in those ways, and that's a valid way of seeing, and that I need you and you need me, and how to put together the team, as you're asking about, it gives you the evidence base. It's okay to be different.
Everyone has a gift. Everyone can contribute if they're empowered. And so that's the secret. Have a society, have institutions, have people that empower others, that enable them to find their gift, turn it into valued skills, and then apply it in a way that enables them to succeed by contributing to others. Mm-hmm. And see how simple this is?
Yeah.
And the problem is you need a society that is relatively based on the principles of equal rights and mutual benefit, where people succeed by assisting each other, and everyone has the opportunity to realize their potential. Now, that's utopian. There is no society that's been perfect at that, but even ones through history that have had a small degree of that, then what these people can do that no one suspected could do anything have done extraordinary things and change societies. And so that's what we try to do, is go find those people to solve a problem, to eliminate an injustice, and then back them and combine our capabilities with theirs to enable them to do even more, to help even more people. What I call this is applying the principles of human progress. This involves 3 different things, because it requires believing in yourself, believing in other people, empowering them from the bottom up, having them realize that no one's good at everything. We're all just good at a few things. So we need to partner with people who have complementary capabilities. So this gets to Frederick Douglass's philosophy that made him such a great social entrepreneur: to unite with anybody to do right and no one to do wrong. So those are some of our guidelines. But as I say, then the starting point in all this is to recognize that everybody can participate in this. Everybody can contribute and succeed. If you're a closed system, you close yourself off from the rest of the world. You try to do everything yourself, and you're going to fall behind. Yeah. You probably die quickly. And that's true for an organization, and that's true for society. So what does that tell us? It tells us things about immigration. It tells us things about free speech and open inquiry. It tells us about trade. It relates to Ricardo's law of comparative advantage, division of labor of comparative advantage. When that started to be allowed, practice, rather than everybody having to do everything themselves, that's when prosperity started to take off and poverty started to decline in the 18th century.
One of the things that I'd been through as a student was some leadership training. And one of the things they taught us was to not be afraid of failure, and instead to have the goal to fail a lot quickly, and then eventually you'll succeed. And I sort of took this to heart, and they also had a slogan called healthy disregard for the impossible. And they actually made you write down sort of the things you would do that were kind of impossible, but you thought you might really accomplish. And that's really stuck with me in everything that I've tried to do. And I think, it was very, very close that we wouldn't have started the company. And I think there are many of you out there in sort of similar situations. Do you want to take a little bit more risk? Do you want to try something out? And, even if you don't succeed, we actually tried many things that didn't work. Google happened to work pretty well. But there are many things that we did that didn't, but we don't worry about those, right? Because we tried many things. So I just encourage you to take a little more risk in life. And I think if you do it often enough, it will really pay off.
I don't think my personality has changed much since I was 5 years old. I think, as I explained to the kids just a little while ago, probably the single most important aspect of my personality, and as far as determining my success, has been my questioning of conventional wisdom, my doubting of experts just because they're experts, and questioning of authority. And while that can be very, very painful in terms of your relationship with your parents and your relationship with your teachers, it's enormously useful in life.
We live in a day and age where you can start anything, do anything, and you shouldn't put limits on yourself. I think everybody's here because they don't believe there are limits on themselves and that they can get out there and do anything. And I like to point to myself, look, if I can do it, there's a lot more people out there that can do it, and you guys should never let anything hold you back.
No one cares whether you live or die, and that's where that mentality goes at. I'm gonna get it or I'm gonna die trying. If I don't try, what am I doing? What kind of life am I saving?
Like, these things is wicked in these mean streets. None of my friends speak. We all trying to win. We all trying to win, and a lot of times we bumping heads because we all trying to get out. That's like the crabs in the barrel mentality, that we have, because everyone's trying to survive. And we trying to survive at any cost. You have to look at that. You got to look at the environments and places we live in, and how things are set up, and how things are structured, and how we're always the last on the totem pole, even from our schooling to our roads to, everything that all the obstacles that's placed in front of us, even our living conditions. Being broke is a great motivator. Have 26 floors and there's a ton of them, right? These low income houses, and everything is messed up there. So that's like living dormant. If this is what I have to live for, then I'm going to take the chance to get more. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens to me.
Can you walk through the 10X rule? Like, I know you sort of touched on points, but like just high level, just because some people may not know, like, you're known as the 10X guy, but what is the 10X rule at its core?
Yeah, well, the 10X rule, first of all, the 10X rule is not an idea, it's a way of life. And people that go 10X are massive action people. And the premise of the book is there's 4 levels of action. You don't do anything, you retreat, you do average, or you go 10X. Now, the first three, everybody knows somebody that does nothing, that you call them lazy. Actually, it's impossible to do nothing, but just for conversation, we'll say a person does nothing. We know that's not going to work. Retreating, if you retreat your entire lifetime, it's going to be very painful. Retreating, by the way, takes more energy than just normal activity. The guys that get up every day and go to work every day, going backwards, making a decision to do something and not doing it is very painful. A lot of wear and tear going backwards. The third one is the most damaging of all 3, which is normal levels of activity, the acceptable, the average, the middle class, the norm, because you get lost. These people get lost. They work every day. They show up every day. They dig ditches every day. They do a good job every day. They're loyal every day, but they never get rewarded ever. Number 3 is the story of my whole life. Yeah. That's where I operated the most of my life.
Most people.
Normal levels of activity, maybe just above normal, just enough to shine a little bit, but dude, I never went for it. And so the 10X rule is like, okay, how do I really take some risk here? How do I really put myself out there? So the middle class of America is basically laid up on number 3, being convinced to go to number 2. And then ended up with, basically they'll end up with number 1.
And how do you suggest somebody takes that move from 3 to 4?
Yeah. So what you would do is you need to understand that number 3 is the biggest disaster that we have. It's where all wealth is created on the backs of number 3. The wealthy, and this will happen again. We'll come out of this virus thing. People will go back to consuming again, and they'll go back to debt. They'll go back to borrowing money to buy things they don't even need to impress people they don't even know, because they're unsure about who they are and where they're going. And so the middle of the spine of America, the middle class of India when it develops, the middle class of China will fund the wealthy. And because they do the normal things. The wealthy do not do normal things. They do completely, they don't save money. Wealthy people don't save money. They invest money. Wealthy people don't spend time or manage time. They take money that's useless. They know it's useless. And they buy, I'm going to get 1,000 employees. And then everybody's like, well, that guy never works. He hired 1,000 people to do work. Mm-hmm. This is an old story, by the way. You can go back to the King Tut. Okay. I mean, it's not a new story. It's like, how do you get wealthy? Well, you commit to massive action. How do you do massive action? You only have 40 hours a week or 80 or 100. Elon Musk says, hey man, 100 hours. He works 100 hours a week. He does the video about the 100 hours. He's like, look, if I do 100 and you do 40, I win. He's a smart dude too, by the way. Real smart guy. But he's nobody without the risk, without the big think, and without the massive action. You need things that pull you forward. Once you have your coach, once you have your big dreams, once you have your schedule of exactly what you need to be doing every day, you need little things that can pull you forward so you're staying busy. Busy. In action. In actions. Moving forward. Things pulling me, not pushing me. Things that are pulling me forward. Okay, I got a date. As soon as this is done today, I got to go do this at 10 o'clock. I get done with that. I got something at 11:30. I need events pulling me forward. That could be an event you're going to. It could be a conference you're going to. It could be a meeting you're going to, a charity event. Have things that are pulling you forward so that you're accomplishing every day, so that you're proud of yourself, respectful of yourself, you're loving yourself, you're feeling good about yourself. I was insecure before the event, thinking the night before, there's no way all these people aren't going to show up. This place is going to be half empty.
Oh.
Biggest fear I have.
That's got to be, if you're walking on a stage and seeing crickets.
Nobody's in the room. Or you start and everybody starts leaving.
Oh, you open, walking out?
People start walking out. Like, this is two biggest fears I have. So that was scary all the way up to the night of the event. Like, I was terrified, fearful, like they're not going to show up. Then even once we did that, we have a room a third the size of last year. I have worried every day since the last event whether this one will work.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, man. I know how hard they are.
Yeah, it's hard to get people to show up.
And I just, even when we're sold out, well, I'll keep pushing.
You keep selling.
Yeah, because I don't trust the numbers. I don't trust that people will show up. That's the 10X rule, though. The 10X rule says, look, you don't stop when you get there. You keep pushing. And that way the place will be full. He took that .45 caliber and jammed it in my face. Cracked me right here in the forehead. This guy had to be this big. Hovered over me with a gun in my face, and when he did, my reaction was to hit him with the plate in the face. Thing breaks and he becomes like a monster. Blood's coming down. Every wall in this apartment, in this room, and the ceiling has blood on it. This was the exclamation mark on where my life had gone from being a good kid to this far from dying. Spent 3 days in the hospital, and I'm like, I'm done. No more drugs. I'm done using drugs, okay? Guess what happens? I'm using drugs 15 minutes later, 10 times a day in the hospital. My mom says to me, you're no longer welcome in my home. You're no longer welcome in my business. I don't want to see you anymore. 24 hours later, I was in a treatment center because my mom had the courage to say, enough is enough. I'm done. I go to this treatment center. I'm there 30 days. For the first 30 days in 7, 8, 9 years, I don't use drugs. And before I leave, the counselor grabs me and the counselor says to me, look, dude, I'll see you back here. probably, if you don't die, I'll see you back here. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? I'm not coming back here. And he's like, oh no, you're coming back. All you're ever gonna be is a drug addict. You need to give up all the ideas of writing books, speaking to audiences, being rich. I always wanted to be rich. I wanted financially to be rich my whole life. I wanted to be my dad. I wanted to be the guy that could take care of his family. They said, you need to give up all those ideas and settle for one thing, not using drugs again. 25 years old, moved back into my mom's house. Tell my mom, let me live back in the house. I'm coming back, I'm not using drugs, and I'm gonna rebuild my life. From that day on at 25, I made some commitments. Number one was, I cannot afford free time. Every time I had free time, I got in trouble. So I knew I had to, one, eliminate the old bad friends. Two, I had to keep all free time busy. And I said, what are you good at, Grant? And I'm like, what are you good at? What are you really good at? And I'm like, I'm good at going all the way. Because even with the drugs, I was an all the way kind of guy, right? I need to 10X everything. Like 10 was that number. My dad died when I was 10. I was using drugs 10 times a day. I was trying to quit 10 times a day. I'm like, you got to start liking something, man. And more importantly, you got to get good at something. So I said, I'm going to take the job that I don't like and I'm going to get great at it. It was a sales job that I hated. Every day I would go to work early. I'd stay late. Okay, I was doing 10-hour days, at least 10 hours. If I needed to make one call, I would make 10. If I needed to see one customer, if I thought I needed to see one customer, I would fill it up with 10 customers. Whatever I thought I needed to do, I literally took this drug problem and poured this obsession with destruction into an obsession with, I'm gonna just 10 times everything and keep myself busy. I studied everything. I became a fanatic. Some therapist, some psychiatrist is gonna say, oh, this dude's got ADD. I've already been told that, please. I've had every label that the psychs put in books, I've been labeled that, okay? Look, I never had any of those problems. I had potential that was being unused. So I wake up early, I get a workout in, and I get to the office. When I get to the office, a calendar's laid out, and I need to see every 30 minutes something filled in that calendar. The counselor back in the treatment center said to me, dude, aren't you worried about, because he's seen my success now, and he's like, aren't you worried about burning out? I'm like, dude, you're the burnout, bro. You're the burnout. You're the one that said I was gonna come back. You're the one that said I would never make it. You're the one that said, don't write books. I've written 7 of them, man. I'm not worried about burnout. I am not a candle. Candles burn out. Spiritual beings don't. My message to you is that you're not doing enough, okay? If you could do it once or twice, then you can do it 20 times. Just multiply. And I hear a lot of people say, when is enough enough? Those of you who ask that question, when is enough enough? Maybe you haven't had enough failures. Because if you get disappointed and disgusted enough with your life, you will not ask, when is enough success enough? I want to give people permission to be complete addicts, junkies, obsessed, maniacs, all in freakazoids that do everything 10 times more than you think you need to. And I want to see, how hot can I burn? Okay, how far can I go? How much light can I bring the world? How much positive truth message can I bring this planet? How much more can I do? You must think in terms of 10x. You have to think about expansion, exponential moves. So whether it's 10,000 you have, 100,000 you have, I'm just talking about money for a second, or whether it's a $10 million, okay? Maybe it's a charity that you raised, last year you raised 100,000 for Make-A-Wish, okay? And you're like, what are we gonna do this year? We gotta beat last year. We gotta beat it. Yeah, but why don't you not beat it? Why don't you stomp it in the ground and act like it was dumb? That's exactly what I've done with my businesses for the last 7 or 8 years. The first 20 years, I thought small. I acted small. I tried to preserve my position. Okay, number one, you have to give up your position. You must give up your position. Number two, the second thing I've done over the last 7 or 8 years is exponentially just grown all my brands, my name, my recognition, the businesses, the top line. I have been willing to put money at risk to 10x my business. How do you go from being a personal assistant making $100,000 a year, let's say? I don't know what Kayla makes. Okay, it's below my pay grade. I don't need to know that. How does she start thinking about, how do I turn this into $1 million? Regardless of whether she's 20 or her position or wherever, how can she multiply time. How can she multiply money? How can she multiply opportunity? Go big or go bigger. Get rid of this go home option. Okay, I don't know who gave you guys this option. That's not an option. I can't go home. I have to go bigger. And by the way, I'm not interested in home. I'm interested in prosperity and paradise. I'd like to never go home. We did 9 countries in 34 days. I got to tell you, we didn't even want to come home. I don't know where I am most of the time. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what time it is. I just know, hey, I got this moment, man, right here. Let's make the most of this moment. I don't know if I live once or twice. Okay, I know this. I need to take advantage of what I have right now, and I can't do that by myself. I don't want to be by myself. We don't want to just be the 4 of us. I don't want to just be me, Elena, Sabrina, and Scarlett. I want a nation. I don't want a tribe. I don't want a tribe. I want friends all over the world. I want Sabrina and Scarlett, when they grow up and they go to Switzerland, they have friends in Switzerland. Okay? If the world falls apart, we have friends in Oklahoma or in Central, or maybe I got to go to South America for a while. Maybe I got to go hang out. Okay? I will not fulfill my mission. My mission is to help people. I will be known for the people I helped, not the money I made. Nobody's going to remember. Nobody's going to say 50 years from now, 100 years from now, oh, Grant Cardone had a great jet. Nobody will ever mention that. My books might live on, okay? My audio will guarantee you my audio will live long after I'm dead. But your memories with me, you using our technologies, okay, will live on forever. You live on through other people. Walt Disney did it. He lives on today, man, okay? Build a legacy, folks. Build a legacy. Put yourself out there, okay? 10x your lives. 10x the lives of the people around you. Give more than you take. Give more than you take. Give more than you take, and I promise you, you will get more than you ever dreamed of. I was 52 years old, and I had a problem. I was depressed. I wasn't satisfied. I was hungry but didn't know what to do. I had businesses, I had money, I had a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm like, dude, what am I doing now? I'm bickering with Elena. We had our kids. We had the first 2 kids, and we're like, okay, we got a kids. I'm being a parent now, okay? I'm being a married guy, right? I'm being a businessman, and I'm unhappy. And then I started asking people, what's wrong, man? What's wrong? What's wrong with me, man? Something wrong with me? Something wrong with me? Oh, yeah. And as soon as you say something wrong with me, shit, everybody's got an opinion. Oh, yeah, man. Man, you got a disease, man. You got a problem. You got issues, man. You work too much. You're a work addict. You're insecure. Your daddy died. Your daddy died and left a hole in you. Left a hole in me. Shit. I can't go on a vacation. I want to do something, man. Doing less has never solved my problems. Doing less, moderation has never solved a problem for me. The problem that I've had in my life, okay, was not my marriage. It's not, okay, I'm not a bad parent. I wasn't helping enough people. You should be up here. You should be dropping out of the ceiling. You should be helping more people. The world you live in today, the CNBC and the CNN and the Netflix, be happy. Just be happy. Be satisfied with what you have. There's no push, man. There's nobody pushing you. How about this? You can do more. How many of you can do more? Oh my God, if that's all you got, how many of you can do more? Well, goddamn, if you know you can do more, then you have to do more. If you know you can help, if you know you can make a difference, if you don't, you're gonna have this freaking big hole inside of you. No amount of money can fill this thing up. So fill it up. The middle class adds and subtracts, and clearly the middle class never figured out how to do what the super wealthy do. Like, it's almost like hundreds of millions of people in America stopped math at adding and subtracting and never got to the multiplication part. Because the super wealthy are multipliers. Oh, by the way, time, energy, and money. They multiply all of them. They're like, look, I got time, I want to make more time. You learned how to add, you learned how to subtract, but that's not what the Rothschilds did. That's not what the Rockefellers did. That's not what the DuPonts did. They multipliers. They're multipliers. This, by the way, 10x is a gateway drug to the Illuminati. I'm telling you right now, the 10X was basically a secret kind of passage for all of you that want the New World Order, for all of you interested in the invisible rich, for the Masons out there that you're like, I know there's 13 families. I know there's a deal with the Federal Reserve. I know there's world monarchs. Don't you know that 10X, the 10X rule? Don't you guys know the 10X rule is actually the front door to this secret society, to the invisible rich? I mean, who does not think that I'm being basically primed for the NWO? I'm just saying it. Before you guys start accusing me of being part of the club, I thought I would just say it about myself and then therefore take away the energy of the whole situation. Let's talk to the next caller.
You got John and Delray.
Okay, I know one thing, you ain't getting in that club. If that club exists, you ain't getting in it because you bought a house. You're not gonna get in it because you got a 401k. Everybody agree with that? You're not gonna get in it because you had a college degree. Okay? If you wanna put little baby goat blood on your chest on a Friday night, you're gonna have to have some net worth. And the only way to get some net worth is to learn how to multiply time, energy, and money. If you want freedom, by the way, and look, I condemn these people. If there's 13 families that control the whole world, I want to meet them. I got to tell you, I want to meet them bad. You can do more. You can do more than you ever imagined. I was broke at 25 years old. Broke, okay? Every 2 years I get one of these cars. The people at Rolls Royce like, hey, we want to send you another one of those cars, okay? How you want it? How you want it dressed? What color you want it? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy the life I'm living right now. We did a conference. There was 10,000 people in the room and another 10,000 people online. All of them paid to be there. I remember when I couldn't get 2 people to show up at a party in high school because I was so disliked. You can do more than you think you can, is my message to you today. You will live longer than you think. I promise you, okay? You can do more than you think you can.
Now I've got some special bonus clips that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the Billionaire Mindset question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? Also, if you've already got your Billionaire Mindset Companion PDF calendar, get ready for another amazing video tomorrow. Or if you don't have it yet, you can get it for free in the first line of the description below. And if you're enjoying this Billionaire Mindset series, give me a hashtag Billionaire Mindset in the comments below so I can celebrate you. What's the difference between you and Jack Ma? You both have crazy dreams. You both started with the odds stacked against you. You both started with very little resources. So what's the difference? The difference is that Jack kept believing in his dreams and his ideas when most people quit and give up. So I actually think you should be on a mission for life. I'm not a big believer in 5-year goals or 10-year goals. I think they can help, but I think if you have a 5 or 10-year goal, you're actually thinking small because you can't predict where you're gonna be in 5 or 10 years. Just like the person you were 5 or 10 years ago could not have designed the life for where you're at right now. Not if you're growing, because the world's changing too quickly and you're growing and evolving. So the ideas and goals that you had 5 years ago may not even be relevant anymore, but the mission stays the same. My mission is believe. Right? Your purpose comes from your pain. So my mission is believe. I want to support entrepreneurs because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. And I think it's the world's biggest problem. I think the world's biggest problem is people don't believe in themselves enough. I think any other problem that you come up with should have already been solved by now, but the person who could solve that, cancer, the woman who should have solved cancer is an account manager at McDonald's. Because she never tried going to medical school, or 2, she did, but she didn't believe in herself enough to chase it down because everybody around her was telling her that she's crazy. You should be crazy. You're doing something that's never been done before. You're on a mission, right? And so no matter how many people I touch with all of my content, all of my channels, every video that I'm making, every speaking gig, every city that I go to, no matter how many people I touch, it's not going to be enough. I think that's great. I think you should have a mission so big that you're never going to actually accomplish it. I think of Ted Turner's father, who when he made a certain amount of money, became a millionaire, or whatever the number was, he killed himself because he hit his goal. And hitting your goal is actually sad. And so Ted Turner decided that I'm gonna set a goal so big that I can never hit it. And that's way more where I'm aligned. I think you should have a mission, something so big that you can never hit it. Some people think of that as, well, it's too big, and so why even try? And I think of that starfish example of the kids at the beach with the starfish, and there's like 1 million starfish on the beach, and she's throwing the starfish back in the water so they can live. And the guy walks by and says, "What are you doing? You can't save all the starfish." And she says, "I know, but I can save that one, and this one, and that one," right? And so each person that you help, each step you take is beneficial, it's helpful. You never want to actually hit the goal, but you wake up every day working your face off to try to hit the goal, right? To hit that mission. And so that's belief for me, and I desperately hope that you find it for you. So how do you keep believing in your dreams? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Number 1 is make big decisions with your heart. So big decisions with the heart, small ones with the head. At the beginning, when you're trying to decide what to do, your head and your heart often will fight, they'll conflict, they won't be aligned because your head only understands a world that currently exists. It's safe, it's practical, it's logical, it knows what currently exists. Where your heart can create something brand new. Your heart can imagine something that's never existed before. And so they clash at the beginning, right? Your heart wants to go do this thing, but you don't know how it's gonna work out because it doesn't make sense because nobody's done it before, and especially someone who looks like you with your resources and your education, your background and your connections and your financial situation. Nobody like you has ever done it before. That's what your head's saying. And so there's this big fight. You need to take control of the situation. You need to get them aligned by saying, this is what I'm doing, right? Big decisions with the heart. And then your head's saying, oh, he's serious. She's serious. Okay, I better help because I don't want to die. And now your head starts working with you. Now your head starts helping you figure out how to actually go off and accomplish it. You're using your thinking side to help you accomplish your mission. But at the very beginning, it doesn't make sense, and so they'll fight. So the big decisions with the heart, and then the small ones with your head to help you figure out how to actually do it. Step number 2 is daily momentum. The biggest thing that you are missing is momentum. You're a genius, you have Michael Jordan level talent, you can save the world, you've got a big, ambitious, crazy mission that you're on. I love it, it's amazing, that's why you're here, that's why you're an entrepreneur, let's go, right? I'm excited pretty easily about entrepreneurship. The problem is you don't have momentum. There's no momentum. Nothing's happening enough on a daily basis. And so you need daily momentum. It doesn't matter that you watch one video like this and then you're on fire the rest of the day. It has to be every day, every single day. You have to build momentum to your business. Too many entrepreneurs, they start and they stop, and they start and they stop, and they start and they stop. They never get anywhere because they're too busy starting and stopping. And then you wonder, where's my, you didn't create the momentum. That's what's missing. Every single day, do the thing, put it into your morning routine that makes you feel bold, alive, unstoppable, confident, and then go out and create momentum. That is your duty, your responsibility, your must every single day. Create momentum. And then step number 3 is ask yourself, what would the most bold version of you do? What would the most bold version of you do? Just ask that question. Here's your mission. Here's what you're trying to accomplish. You're looking at your calendar. You're looking at what you want to accomplish. What would the most bold version? Just eliminate any insecurities, eliminate fears, eliminate judgment, eliminate the toxic people for your life just for this magical, 18 seconds. And ask yourself, what would the most bold version of me do? And then see what comes back. And then chances are that's the actual thing that you should be doing. Because you know what? You do bold things. Your biggest problem is a lack of belief. The only thing that's holding you back, holding me back, holding your friends and family back is a lack of belief. It is the world's biggest problem, and that's why I created these YouTube channels. I've seen the impact, not just on the people around me, but myself, firsthand, the value of having my own channel. In the work that I do, I make it selfishly for myself so that I learn, that I get better, that I grow, that I challenge myself. And it's often hard to see it on a day-to-day basis. You may not feel a lot more confident, have a lot more belief from one day to the next. You might have some big win, you might take on some big challenge, and then you feel good about yourself, but then you fall back down the next day. And you don't see that that's actually a win because the win that you had was so small. The growth that you had was so tiny that on a day-to-day basis, you can't see it. That's the problem. But if you consistently are doing the things like watching this channel or consuming a podcast or reading a book or hanging around people who are better than you, who have more belief than you, who are growing and pushing, that inspire you, if you're around that every single day, and you look back on your life, you look back in the past X number of months, you'll see how much you've grown. You just will. I've seen it in my own business. Go back and look at my old content. I started a new series on my other channel where it's old Evan versus new Evan, and the first video we did was 2016 Evan versus 2019 Evan. And what do you think? And you may not see that big a difference in me from last week's video to this week's video, or yesterday's Espresso to today's Espresso. But when you go back 3 years, see, it doesn't even look like the same person. Go back 10 years, go back and watch my first videos. Go back and watch the first videos. The content was still good, the message was still good, but the delivery, the execution sucked because I didn't know what I was doing, because I didn't have a lot of belief. And I'm still trying to chase the next level. You know, I've grown in belief, but I'm never done. The thing that's holding me back, it's still belief. It's belief in the ability to get to the next step. Because as you expand your comfort zone, there's still other things that are outside your comfort zone. You don't want to ever get to the point where you're not growing, where there's not something outside your comfort zone. But then everything inside becomes easy, right? What used to scare you now is super easy. Now isn't a problem anymore. And so you can see it in my growth. If you go back 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 6 months ago, you can see the growth and progression. And I want that for all of you too. How did I do it? It's practice, it's repetition, but it's bringing in. I've got Steve Jobs in my ear, and Kanye West in my ear, and Elon Musk, and Oprah Winfrey, and David Goggins in my ear every day. And if you're around that every single day, you can't help but grow. You can't help but grow, even if you have toxic people around you, parents who don't support you, friends who say you're never gonna make it. If you have all this negativity around you, but you've got something in your environment every single day that's pushing you forward, I guarantee you, you're gonna grow. I think that lack of belief is the world's biggest problem, because I think everybody has Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are Michael Jordan, the best in the world at something. You are at something, just maybe not the thing you're doing right now. And that's the problem. Most people are doing the wrong thing. Whatever you think the world's biggest problem is, pollution, cancer, whatever it is. I think the woman who solves cancer is now working as a manager at some company, and she hates her life, instead of taking a chance on biology and studying to become a doctor because somebody told her that she couldn't do it, or she told herself that she couldn't do it. She didn't have the belief. I think that's the world's biggest problem. If we allowed everybody to discover their Michael Jordan level talents, abilities, and then believe in themselves enough to chase it down, holy cow, what a beautiful world that's gonna be. And that's why I wake up every day trying to go and tackle. So how do you create more belief for yourself? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is create an environment of excellence. You are a product of your environment. Your environment has been perfectly designed to keep you exactly where you are. It is. Now you just maybe haven't done it with intention. That's a problem for most people, right? I've created this environment that I'm in right now with intention. The people behind me on the wall, they're there for intention. Every person tells a story that reminds me every time I walk into my office and look at them. They may not mean anything to you, but to me it means a lot. Having this bag of Doritos, I want to eat this bag of Doritos right now. It looks so good. Damn the Doritos, right? I have it here as a reminder to myself that I'm stronger than the Doritos. And I have it in front of me all day long. There it is, right there. Damn the Doritos. What's the thing that makes you come alive? What's an environment of excellence for you? And yes, maybe your ideal is you want to be at $10,000 a night hotels and flying helicopters and this expensive lifestyle. Okay, great. Can't do that yet. Probably. Awesome. What's a small version of it? What's a small version of it? Even if you've got all this negativity around you and people and all this stuff, you know, hitting you that says you can't do it. Great. Carve out this space for yourself. Carve out that environment of excellence, whether it's in your car, your home, your bedroom, your office, wherever you're spending time. Environment of excellence matters. Because what's beautiful about all this stuff here is you set it up once. I set it up once with intention. What makes me feel believe? This makes me feel believe. I set it up once with intention. And then every day I walk in and I feel believe looking at this stuff. That's what you need to do as well. Create an environment of excellence for yourself. Step number 2 is 254s. So in almost every video I talk about a 254. What is it? For those of you who are on the 254s, it's been amazing seeing the growth. The idea basically is every day for 254 days, I send you a video that is free around a certain topic. So we've done it for writers, we've done it for self-love, we've done it for confidence, we've done it for women entrepreneurs, we've done it for lots of different categories. Ultimately, I want to have 1,000 different ones of these. And what happens is, if you're a writer, you sign up for the Writer's Wisdom. Every day you get a video from a writer with an inspirational message. And it forces you to have that writer and that knowledge and that motivation and that mindset seep into you every day. Just watch the video. Why 254 days? Because it takes between 18 and 254 days of consecutive action to build a habit. And so even if you're the slowest learner of all time, I'm still with you every step of the way. Now, you don't have to do mine, create your own. If you do something consistently every day, you will find that you change. And that's not just mindset, that's not just belief systems, that's anything, right? If you work out every day for 254 days, you're gonna see some results, right? Hopefully a lot sooner. But what's the belief that you want? Do you want to have more confidence? Do you want to believe in yourself more? Like, what's the thing that you want desperately in your life? And then create your own 254. If I haven't done one for you, create your own and surround yourself with it every single day. And it's this little micro injection. I'm doing my allergy shots right now. I've had seasonal allergies for, I don't know, a long time. And the doctor said, hey, we can do these little injections every week so that over time, you go for almost a year and then you're not allergic to the thing anymore. So I'm allergic to grass and trees, and they inject a little bit of grass and trees into my bloodstream every week. And they strengthen the dose every week. And so now when I'm going out, it doesn't impact me as much, right? And after a year, you're good. And so that same approach applies to mindset and belief systems and personal development. Although you're never good, you're always continue to grow. But that little bit of injection every single day, again, you won't see major growth from day to day. But when you look back, you'll see huge growth over X number of weeks or months. And that leads me to step number 3, which is the 6-month test. I would try to find somebody who you haven't seen in 6 months. Or make a video of yourself now and then make another one in 6 months and look back so that you can see the growth, because we massively underestimate what we can do in a long period of time and overestimate what we can do in a short amount of time. So you'll work like crazy one day and try to get so much done, and then if you then slack off for the rest of the week, you're not going to have major growth. But if every single day you're doing the thing, you'll notice that you have major growth. And so find someone who you haven't seen for 6 months. If you've been going on this journey and you've been learning and investing in yourself and surrounding yourself with content and videos and books and podcasts that lift you up, that make you feel better every single day, find someone who you haven't seen in 6 months and then talk to them and see if they tell you that you've changed. Or record yourself on camera right now, make a video to yourself and then do something every day for 6 months. And then come back and watch that video again and see how much you've grown. It'll be mind-blowing. It'll be mind-blowing how much you can grow. We're just not giving enough credit to the daily, tiny little incremental changes that we're making. And so take the 6-month test and impress yourself. You go as far as you believe you can go. When the people around you say you're crazy, when you're putting in massive effort but you're not getting the results, where you sit alone and wonder, did you just make the biggest mistake of your life by starting this business? That is the time when most people quit, and you need to believe more. Because if you love this thing, if you know that it's going to impact people and you give up too soon, you will regret for the rest of your life knowing that you were capable of more and you just quit on it a little too early. So I look at my new book as an example. I did my tour across America, met with entrepreneurs all across America, and found that people were struggling with the same thing. They want to know, how do I find what my purpose is and turn it into a lucrative business? Every city that I went to, even though that was not the topic I was covering, it came up over and over and over and over again, 23 different cities. And so I thought, I'm gonna write a book on this. This is gonna be my next book. I'm gonna take people through the process because my process works and it helped people live in 10, 15 minutes, and they're getting new ideas and results. And here we go. Like they understand what path they need to take. Finally, they have clarity on what to do next. And so I told my agent and my lit agent, like, this is the next book I wanna write. We told publishers, this is the next book I'm gonna write. And from the start, it's been this big pull. It's been fighting. We don't like the title. We don't like the concept. No, we're not gonna publish it. No, we're not gonna publish it. And I wanna do it by January because I wanna do my next tour across the rest of the United States, East Coast, Texas, Mexico. I wanna do my next tour. So I wanna have my book in stores by that time. And it's been this rough slog, where if I didn't believe in myself that this was so important, with the people who are looking at it saying, nah, we don't like this concept. Nah, it's been written before. No, this method we don't believe in. It's easy to quit. It's easy to give up. It's easy to say, forget it. I just know that it's gonna work. I know that the process helps people. I've seen it with my eyes across 23 cities over 90 days. I wrote the draft of the book and I gave it to some beta readers. And the number one piece of advice from people who've read both my books, the Year One Word and then this, like this is the better book. This is the best book you've written so far, including my self-published ones. And so what do? I've got these people who are my audience who love it, and then these people who aren't my audience but who make decisions saying, nah, we don't believe in it. I'm not gonna quit. I gotta keep going. I gotta do my tour. There better be some crazy good reason for me not to do my tour, right? Even if I have to self-publish it. Now, I'm pretty close to making my deal, making it all happen, and getting timelines and all that, but we don't have a signed contract yet, and anything can happen. We're pushing the timelines because I'm pushing the timelines, because otherwise this thing could drag on forever. When you have an idea that you love, that you know can have a huge impact, that's just taking longer than you hoped it would. When people are telling you that it's crazy and that it's stupid and that who are you to go off and do this thing? If you love it, you have to double down on it. You have to go in on it. You have to be open to getting help, but if that door closes, you try to find another one. And that's the story of every successful person. You're trying to do something different. 95% of the world wakes up and drives to a job that they hate. I believe that you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, that you are a genius. You are the best at something. Most people either one, have no idea what that thing is, or two, they have found it, but they don't have the courage or belief to go chase it down. Either way, the path is through. You need to find the thing that you are a genius at, that you have Michael Jordan level talent at, and live it every single day if you want to live your life instead of regret your life. This is why I do what I do. I want people to believe in themselves more. I look at people and I see this person who hates their life, and then there's so much talent. You have so much talent. You want to serve, you want to help others, you want to make an impact, you want to make a difference. Everybody does. It's a human condition. And you know you're capable of more than what you're doing right now. You know it. And this is what I want to help bring out in people. It's why I make the videos that I do and write the books and do my speaking, all of it. Because I want to pull that out. I want you to suck on whatever energy that I can give you so that you then realize, maybe I am a genius. Maybe I do have great ideas. Maybe what I have could actually change the world. Maybe I need to stop doing the thing that I'm doing. Maybe there is some hope, right? That's what I want to try to inject into people. And so I have an 8-step process that I'll take you through super quick, that if you are struggling with belief, if you are struggling thinking that, I don't know if I'm a genius at something, this process will help you. It'll help you believe in your big ideas, it'll help you believe in your capabilities, and it'll help you go off and actually make an impact. Let's dive in. Number one is find your purpose. You got to find out what the thing is that you're here to do, right? I have my who, why, how process. Figure out what your one word is, your most important core value. 2, your purpose comes from your pain. The thing that you struggled the most with is the thing that you want to help other people through. Whatever you struggled the most with, the worst moment in your life, whatever you remember that is, your purpose for life will be helping other people who are currently going through that pain. And then 3, the how you got out of it, how you got through it will be a recipe to teach other people. You'll be able to, as you take your steps on the staircase up, lift other people up to join you on that step. So step number 1 in believing in yourself more is figuring out what is your purpose. Step number 2 is going from idea to action. You have great ideas. You have great ideas. The problem is you judge your ideas. You come up with a great idea in the shower, and then you spend the rest of the day thinking about it, researching, planning it, judging it, saying, I can't do that, or how's that gonna work? And then you wake up tomorrow a different person. The faster you go from idea to action will dictate your entire future. It'll change the entire trajectory of your life. The faster you go from idea to action, stop judging your ideas. You get an idea, you go for it, you do it. The 2% difference. Stop planning to get to 100% and just take action on the first 2%. You'll never figure out the whole plan by sitting on your couch. You won't. You figure it out by doing. Idea to action. Train yourself. You get an idea, you do something about it. Because your ideas list is never going to get any shorter. It's growing every day. You're a genius. You come with great ideas. But that's not enough. You got to do something about them. And so immediate action. You get an idea, boom, the 2% difference. What's one thing that you can do that'll take you 2% of the way to making some momentum on this idea? The smallest, simplest, dumbest, stupidest thing that you can do right now, today, on your idea. Idea to action. Step 3 is model success. Have people around you who inspire you, who lift you up, who show you that it's possible. I love my YouTube channel for myself. I need it for me. I surround myself with Steve Jobs and Kanye and Oprah and all these people. For me, for myself, I want it. I want to be around successful people because what it does, it rubs off on you. It rubs off. It's like they're sprinkling little Steve Jobs pixie dust on you. It rubs off. It shows you two things. One, that it's possible because all of your heroes, they started with less than what you currently have right now. You feel like it's overwhelming and impossible in your environment, and it's never going to happen. Whoever you look up to, whoever your heroes are, they had it worse than you have it right now. They struggled through worse than what you're struggling through right now. And so if they could do it, you can too. There's no excuse. If you're surrounded by people who just tell you, oh, take it easy, take it slow. Yeah, of course you can't do it because you were born at X or because you come from this community. Of course, yeah, you're never gonna make it, right? Screw the president, screw the system, right? Most people, that's how they live. But other people, they've won. They've done it despite coming from worse circumstances than you. You have no excuse. And so when you surround yourself with those people who are often winning, who look like you, came from the same background as you, struggle with the same things as you, or worse, it's motivating. It gives you hope that it's possible. You need to be around success. You need to model it. And it gives you the hope, and it also gives you strategies. Bill Gates saved my company. I've never met him yet, but what he did gave me hope that what I wanted to do was possible with my software company, and how he got through was a recipe for me. I modeled how he got through it, and that started to take my company forward. So step 3, in believe in yourself more, is you need to model success. Step 4 is create an environment of excellence. An environment of excellence. What in your environment makes you feel excellence? It starts with you, how you carry yourself. I love wearing this, right? Like I wear this not just for the camera, I like it. Like I feel like Batman putting on my outfit, putting on my superhero cape, right? When I wear this, how do you want to express yourself? From the clothes you wear, from your haircuts, from the jewelry you put on, how are you going to express yourself that is excellent? That reminds you of who you are and what you're capable of. Next, you go out to your physical environment. So these people are all behind me for a reason. I walk into this office, and without even having to think about it, I've got these people staring me down, reminding me to be excellent, to go chase down my dreams, right? What's on your cell phone background? What's on your computer background, right? These are things that you set up once in your environment, and then it triggers you. I call them play bigger triggers. They're there for you every single day to remind you, right? If I'm feeling low, if I feel like I don't believe in myself enough, I got my parents right here telling me, hey, Evan, you're Shirley Carmichael, believe in yourself more. If I'm struggling with my vision, I got Steve Jobs staring me down right here, right? This is my computer, I'm looking here, I got this guy, eyes on me, right? Now, maybe that's too creepy for you, scary for you, awesome. Design for yourself, design for your excellence. What makes you feel bold and want to come alive, and have that as a daily part of your routine. Step number 5 is schedule for success. So I just mentioned routines. What is your routine? What are you doing on a daily basis? Show me how the actions that you're doing, what's in your calendar, will help you accomplish your goals, right? Your actions have to map to your ambitions. You say you want this, amazing. I love it, I'm pumped. Now show me in your calendar where you're gonna do it. You say you want to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, amazing. You say you want to sell 1 million books, amazing. You say you want to have $1 million business, amazing. Show me in your calendar where are you spending your time on making videos, on writing books, on building your business. Like it has to be in your calendar. Most people, they don't have it in their calendar. And if you don't have it in your calendar, it's never going to get done. And not just business, life success. You want to be a successful husband, father, mother, daughter, wife, anything. Where's that time? Put it in your calendar. Right? Show me your calendar. Your calendar is your habits, and your habits will dictate your success. And so what you do on a weekly basis in your calendar, and also how you start your day every day. Most people wake up like an accident. Most people wake up, they hit the snooze button, which already you're telling yourself that you're the kind of person who doesn't follow through on your goals, and you start responding to other people's emergencies. No, start your day with intention. You could have had the greatest day of all time yesterday, and you wake up today and you're starting over. So what makes you come alive? And then put that into your morning routine with intention every day, so you stop waking up like an accident. You do that, you're gonna believe in yourself more. Step number 6 to believe in yourself more is manufacturing self-confidence. Manufacture self-confidence. You do difficult things. You need to teach yourself that you do difficult things. That when something is hard, you want to do it. You love hard things. That when your heart's beating and you're scared, you're nervous, that's a sign you have to go do that thing. Self-confidence, self-love, self-respect comes from following through on the things you say you're going to do. But it doesn't count until it's difficult. Waking up at X in the morning, right? You want to wake up at 6 in the morning? Great. When it's easy, it doesn't count. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel bad. It's easy. It's when it's hard. It's when it's hard, right? If you ran a race against 3-year-olds, right, and you won, You might post about it, say, yeah, I won this race. But inside, you know it's a fake. You know it's a fake win. It doesn't count. But if you get up and run against Usain Bolt, he's going to destroy you. But you can feel good that you tried. Right? Are you proud of your effort? You want to manufacture self-confidence? You want more belief? Are you proud of yourself today? And it's not something that anybody else can give you. Should I be proud of myself? I don't know. Did I do enough reps? I don't know. Did I write enough words for my book? I don't know. Are you proud of yourself? I can tell you, when I broke my neck on my tour and I was sitting at the front for 3.5 hours in massive pain delivering my presentation, I was proud of myself. Even though the quality went down, right? I was better when I was being able to walk around and not have so much pain. I felt like my presentation delivery was better, but I was more proud of myself for doing it when it was hard. That's how you manufacture self-confidence. That's how you manufacture self-belief. It's doing it when it's hard. It does not count until it's hard, and that you do difficult things. Step number 7 to believe in yourself more is beating negative judgment. If you're doing anything that's different, anything that's outside the norm, guess what? There's a lot of people who love the norm. There's a lot of people who will say, hey, you suck, like stop doing this. They want to protect the status quo, because if you go off and win, it makes them look bad. It makes them feel bad about themselves, right? You winning makes them feel bad about themselves. And so you're gonna have a lot of people who all they focus on is tearing other people down. You may even have your parents who are giving you advice out of love, but your parents are pilgrims. You were growing up in a different era than they did. If you're 20 years old right now, your parents at 20 years old, the world is different. The amount of things that a 20-year-old can do right now to build a business, to have success, to make a meaningful impact on the world is crazy compared to what was available when your parents were 20 years old. They don't understand the world that you live in. And so their advice is out of love, but they just don't understand what's possible. And so you get advice that's out of love that's still negative. You'll see it as negative. And you'll also get hate. You'll get people who watch your videos or read your book and say, you suck. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But what's the alternative? To never ruffle any feathers, to never do anything bold or big or great, to live your entire life in fear of being rejected, in fear of people laughing at you. And so you play small your whole life, and then you're 95, you look back and say, I never did anything great. I knew I was capable, I never did it. You need to learn to attack judgment. You attack it. If you're afraid of even the possibility of judgment, then you do it. That's why I painted my nails a while back, because I was afraid of people judging me for having my nails painted. So then I had to do it. You have to do it. Just to beat it, just to eat the judgment. You need to train yourself, because if you want to go off and do some amazing big thing, but you can't do something as simple as painting your nails, you've lost. You're so worried about other people's opinions that you'll play small forever. And so the next time you feel yourself worried about somebody else's opinion, then you have to go off and do that thing. Now, within your code of ethics, right? Don't go beat somebody up. Don't go, mock somebody. Don't do something against your values. But most of the things that you want to do, it's for you. It's not against somebody else. You want to do it for you, and you're afraid of what the reaction is going to be. That's the fear that you need to quash. And as soon as you catch it, you need to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat that negative judgment. I'm going to feel that fear, and I'm going to do it anyway. And then step number 8 to getting more belief is to make an impact. We want to make an impact. Making money is important. It has to be. Money has to be in your top 5. It's just not number 1. Money's not number 1. It's not number 100 on your list either. It's got to be in your top 5. But something comes ahead of it, and that's the impact that you want to have. What is the impact? How are you going to do it? And then start feeling it, start seeing it, start appreciating it. For me, I'm just here in my office talking to the camera. It's me and the camera alone in a room, but it's going out and being broadcast, and you're watching it right now, and I appreciate that. And I remind myself of the work that I do every day matters. It's touching people, and maybe that's just one person. Maybe you helped one person today. And you feel the impact of that. Or maybe it's 100 or 1,000 or 100,000, however many, right? Your impact will continue to grow with time, especially entrepreneurs. We want to have a big impact, not just one person at a time. But remembering that you're here to do something good, and that your work matters. If you woke up every day and felt like the work that you do matters to somebody, it's having an impact on somebody, it's serving other people, because humans are built to serve. And if you felt like that every single day, man, your life would be dramatically different. If you want to sign up for the entire Billionaire Mindset series for free and get the companion bonus PDF calendar, check the link right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.